My beloved child, as you rise to meet this new day, and you feel the weight of everything you carry pressing upon your heart and mind and soul, I want you to know that I am here with you in this very moment. And I will be here with you in every single moment that follows, through every breath you take, and every step you make, and every thought that passes through your consciousness. Because my love for you is not a fleeting thing that comes and goes with the changing circumstances of your life, but rather it is an eternal and unchanging reality that has existed since before time began, and will continue to exist long after time has ceased to have any meaning. And I see you right now in this sacred space between sleep and waking, between the dreams of the night and the realities of the day. And I behold you not as the world beholds you, with its critical eyes and its harsh judgments and its impossible standards, but I behold you as the loving Father beholds his precious child, with eyes that see past every flaw and every failure and every fear, eyes that look directly into the depths of your being and find there something beautiful and valuable and worthy of all the love that heaven can pour out. And I understand, my child, I understand completely the heaviness that you feel in your heart, that weight that settles upon your chest, like a stone, that you cannot seem to move no matter how hard you try. And I know that there are times when you cannot name the source of this heaviness, when you search your mind and your memory for some specific cause, and come up empty, finding only a vague and pervasive sense of sadness or anxiety, or simply a feeling of being overwhelmed by life itself. And I want you to know that it is okay to not have words for what you feel. It is okay to sit in the mystery of your own emotions without needing to analyze them, or explain them, or justify them to anyone, including yourself. Because I am the God who understands the language of the heart that transcends all human words. And I sit with you in the quiet places, in the early morning hours when the world is still asleep and you are alone with your thoughts. And I hold space for every emotion you carry, every single one, whether it is light or dark, whether it brings you peace or trouble, whether it makes sense to you or remains a complete puzzle. And I do this not because I expect you to figure it all out or to work through it quickly and efficiently, but simply because I love you and I want to be with you in whatever you are experiencing. And I want you to know that there is no rush, my beloved, no pressure at all to feel better by a certain time, or to heal according to someone else's schedule, because healing is not a linear process that follows predictable patterns and timelines, but rather it is a gentle and often meandering journey that unfolds in its own time and in its own way, like the slow opening of a flower bud that cannot be forced open without damaging the petals. And I am patient with you, more patient than you can possibly comprehend. For my patience is not like human patience that grows thin and weary after a while, but it is an infinite patience that flows from an infinite love, and I will wait for you as long as you need, through every setback and every breakthrough, through every step forward and every step back, through every moment of doubt and every moment of faith, because you are worth waiting for. You have always been worth waiting for, and you will always be worth waiting for. And beloved, I know that there are times when you look at yourself and you struggle to see your own worth, when you measure yourself against the standards of the world and find yourself coming up short, when you listen to the voices that tell you that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough to be loved and accepted and valued. And I know that many of these voices, perhaps most of them, have their origins in the way other people have treated you, in the careless words that were spoken over you by parents, or teachers, or friends, or lovers, who should have built you up, but instead tore you down. In the rejections you have experienced from people whose acceptance you desperately craved, in the betrayals that left deep wounds in your soul that still ache even after all this time. And I know that the enemy of your soul, the accuser who seeks to steal your joy and your peace and your hope, loves to take these wounds and these memories and these painful experiences and use them as evidence in his ongoing case against you. whispering lies into the ears of your heart that you are fundamentally flawed, fundamentally broken, fundamentally unworthy of love. And these lies can feel so true, so compelling, so undeniable, especially in the quiet moments when you are alone with your thoughts and there are no other voices to counter them. But let me speak to you now, my child, with all the authority and all the love and all the certainty of heaven itself, and let me tell you the truth that will set you free from these lies, the truth that their actions and their words do not define you. They never have, and they never will, because your worth, your true and eternal value, was not established by any human being, and cannot be diminished by any human being, but rather your worth was spoken into existence by my own voice, the voice that spoke the universe into being, the voice that called the stars by name and set the planets in their orbits. And I spoke your worth into existence long before any person formed an opinion about you, long before any parent held you in their arms, long before any teacher graded your work, long before any friend accepted or rejected you, long before any lover broke your heart. I looked at you in the secret councils of eternity, and I declared you good. I declared you loved. I declared you precious in my sight. I declared you worthy of all the love that I am, and all the love that I have to give. And that declaration stands forever, unshakable and unchanging, more solid than the mountains, more enduring than the stars, more certain than the rising of the sun. And no amount of human rejection can overturn it. No amount of human criticism can invalidate it. No amount of human indifference can diminish it, because it is rooted not in the fickle opinions of fallible people, but in the eternal and unchanging nature of my love for you. And I want you to stand in that truth today, my child. I want you to plant your feet firmly on that solid rock, and refuse to be moved by the shifting sands of human opinion. I want you to declare it to yourself every morning when you wake, and every night when you lie down. I want you to let it sink deep into the soil of your heart, and take root there, so that when the winds of criticism blow, and the rains of rejection fall, and the floods of doubt rise up against you, you will not be shaken, you will not be moved, you will stand firm in the knowledge of who you are, and whose you are. And I know, beloved, that there are times when you feel an immense pressure to become someone other than who you truly are, a pressure that comes from the world around you, with its constant messages about who you should be, and how you should look, and what you should achieve, in order to be accepted and valued and loved. And this pressure can be overwhelming, can make you feel like you are constantly performing for an audience that is never satisfied, constantly striving to meet standards that keep shifting just out of reach, constantly hiding your true self behind masks of pretense, because you are terrified that if people saw the real you, the authentic you, the imperfect you, they would reject you as unworthy of their attention and affection. And I see this struggle, my child. I see the toll it takes on your spirit, the exhaustion that comes from constantly pretending to be someone you are not, the loneliness that comes from hiding your true self from the very people you long to be close to, the despair that comes from feeling like you can never measure up, no matter how hard you try. And I want you to hear me say, with all the tenderness and all the compassion and all the urgency that I possess, that you were never meant to abandon yourself in order to belong. You were never designed to shrink yourself down or stretch yourself out of shape to fit into someone else's mold. You were never created to be a carbon copy of anyone else, or to meet anyone else's expectations for who you should be, because I created you with my own hands and my own heart and my own infinite creativity, to be authentic, not perfected. And there is a world of difference between these two things, for perfection is a cold and lifeless ideal that no human being has ever attained or ever will attain. It is a cruel and impossible goal that keeps you forever running on a treadmill that goes nowhere, forever reaching for something that remains just beyond your grasp, forever measuring yourself against a standard that was never meant to be reached. But authenticity, oh my child, authenticity is warm and alive and beautiful beyond words. It is the unique and unrepeatable expression of my image, that I placed within you when I knit you together in your mother's womb. It is the particular combination of gifts and talents and quirks and passions and strengths and weaknesses that makes you who you are and no one else. It is the real you beneath all the masks and all the pretenses and all the performances, and it is in your authenticity, in your willingness to be real and honest and vulnerable, that your true beauty shines most brightly. For there is nothing more beautiful in all of creation than a soul that is comfortable in its own skin, a heart that is at peace with its own imperfections, a life that is lived in the freedom of being exactly who it was made to be. And I want you to know, deep in the deepest part of your being, that where you are truly meant to be, in the places and relationships and communities that I have prepared for you from before the foundation of the world, you will not have to pretend, you will not have to perform or prove or posture or pretend. You will simply be able to be, to exist in the fullness and freedom of who you are, to let your authentic self breathe and stretch and grow without fear of judgment or rejection, and you will find acceptance there, not because you have finally managed to become someone else, not because you have contorted yourself into the shape that others demanded, but precisely because you have had the courage to remain yourself, to stay true to the person I created you to be. And this is my promise to you today on this beautiful morning that I have made especially for you. This promise that I seal with all the love and all the power and all the faithfulness of my eternal being, that I am with you in every moment of this day and every day that follows, in the moments of joy when your heart feels like it might burst with happiness, and in the moments of sorrow when tears flow freely down your cheeks, in the moments of strength when you feel like you can conquer the world, and in the moments of weakness when you can barely find the energy to take the next step, in the moments of clarity when everything makes sense, and in the moments of confusion when nothing seems to fit together. I am holding you in the palm of my hand. I am upholding you with my righteous right hand. I am cheering for you with all the enthusiasm of a father who delights in his child, and my love for you is not dependent on your performance, or your mood, or your circumstances, or your feelings. It is not a love that you have to earn, or maintain, or deserve. It is a constant, it is an everlasting, it is an unconditional love that nothing in all creation, not the highest heights or the deepest depths, not the present or the future, not the angels in heaven or the demons in hell, not anything in all of existence can ever separate you from. So go now into this day that stretches out before you like a blank page waiting to be written upon, full of infinite possibility and potential, and carry with you always the certainty of my presence that goes before you and behind you and beside you, the security of my love that surrounds you like an invisible shield, and the freedom to be exactly who I made you to be, without apology and without fear. And when the moments come that are hard, as they surely will, when the old doubts creep back in with their familiar lies, when the weight of everything feels heavy again upon your shoulders, when you forget for a moment who you are and whose you are, just whisper my name, just breathe a simple prayer from the depths of your heart, and know that I am right there, closer than your next breath, closer than your own heartbeat, ready to hold you and comfort you, and remind you once again of these eternal truths that will never change. For you are my beloved child, the apple of my eye, the delight of my heart, the one for whom I have prepared a place in my house, and a seat at my table, and a home in my heart forever. And in me you live and move, and have your being, and nothing, absolutely nothing, not all the forces of darkness, or all the doubts of your own mind, or all the rejections of the world, can ever change that, can ever alter it, can ever diminish it by even the smallest degree. For my love for you is stronger than death, and more powerful than the grave, and more enduring than eternity itself. And it is yours, fully yours, completely yours, forever yours, now and always, and unto the ages of ages, my beloved child, my precious one, my own.